Welcome to the Blandon Art Museum. Thank you for joining me today. This is Look and Learn, a podcast about artwork currently on display at the Blandon. The goal of this podcast is to connect with the Blandon members and learn about different works of art currently on display. Each week, sharing personal impressions and information on selected works of art and the artists who created them. Today we'll be looking at and learning about The Herdsman's Cottage at Sunset by Samuel Palmer. This print is part of the exhibit Encounters with Nature, currently on display at the Blandon Art Museum. The Herdsman's Cottage at Sunset is a small and intimate print that shows a herdsman walking his cattle along a wooded path, and we have a bright sun rising up in a tight sliver between the silhouette of a cottage and the edge of the woods. This print is an etching, which is a printing process that uses acid to create the channels that hold the ink that produces the printed image. Samuel Palmer, born in 1805 in London, England, was known as a British landscape painter, etcher, and printmaker. That was a key figure of British Romanticism. His works were visionary pastoral scenes, which showed heavy influence by artists such as William Blake and John Linnell. He was the son of a bookseller and Baptist minister who supported Samuel's artistic talent. Samuel started painting around the age of 12 and exhibited at the Royal Academy at the age of 14. He had little formal training and little formal schooling. He posed a clear, natural talent that was encouraged and fostered by his father. In 1824, Samuel met the artist William Blake through a family friend, John Linnell. From that introduction, Blake had a tremendous influence on Samuel's art, especially during the period between 1824 and 1834. Other creative influences for Samuel included poems by the poet John Milton. Milton's work provided great artistic direction during his lifetime and becomes a key to understanding Samuel's work production after 1850. Largely forgotten after his death in 1881, led to the destruction of many of his works by his son in 1909. Alfred Palmer burnt a great quantity of his father's handiwork, knowing that no one would be able to make heads or tails of what was burnt, stating, "I wish to save it from a more humiliating fate." It was in 1926 Samuel's artistic talent was rediscovered through a curated show at the Victoria and Albert Museum. This show opened the door for Samuel's reputation to slowly recover, and in 1950 a 200-page book highlighting his talent was published. Samuel is now known as a disciple of William Blake, producing work that can be characterized as a visionary style that contains mystical content with precise depiction of nature and an overflowing religious intensity, united by a vivid recollection of pastoral conventions. When I look at the print, The Herdsman's Cottage at Sunset, my personal understanding starts with a connection to a religious experience and invitation. This print is laced with a Christian narrative. At the center of the print, we find a herdsman, which is a symbol of a shepherd, leading a flock out of the darkness of the forest towards the light of the sun, which is also a symbol of God. The composition is tight and controlled, with a great uses of changes of value to create depth and space within the image. I love the strong use of chiaroscuro, which adds to the overall drama and theatrics that emphasizes the religious narrative. Devices used by artists during the Baroque period. Looking deeper into the construction of the print itself, the marks and lines that make up nature are for the most part organic, versus the lines coming off the sun, which are straight and organized, leading out and to from the light that breaks the darkness. I think it is appropriate to end today with a poem, "When I Consider How My Light is Spent," by John Milton, which might have provided direct inspiration to Samuel's print. The Herdsman's Cottage at Sunset. When I Consider How My Light is Spent by John Milton. When I consider how my light is spent, year half my days in the dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless. Through my soil more bent to serve there with my Maker, and present my true account, least he returning chide. Doth God exact a labor, light denied? I fondly ask, but patient to prevent, that murmur soon replies. God doth not need neither man's work nor his gifts. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. His state is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed, and post over land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening in. As you're going about your day, think about the different ways you encounter nature. Let it inspire you. Enjoy it. Be creative. Bye for now. See you next time.